Hey everybody, and welcome to a relatable wild ride with Steve-O. We've got my niece, and this one is particularly personal and intimate. We talk about things that I've never discussed publicly. The fact that my niece has no father, how she's tracked him down, when it's not even legal to do so. I mean, this one's crazy. It's super crazy. And I love my niece, and I tell her some stuff that she definitely never heard. She told me stuff I definitely didn't know. This all happened on a trip down to Florida to visit my family for Christmas. I took this killer new RV. Now it's been converted into a four-wheel drive overlanding ass kicker by my friends at U-Joint Off-Road. They can turn like pretty much anything into a four-wheel drive ass kicker. And so I took this monster down, broke up the drive to stay at awesome state parks and killer campgrounds, and just took my time and communed with nature. Very healthy for me. And this conversation with my niece was also super healthy for me. So get ready for a really, really heavy one. And I hope you enjoy it as much as we did. Let's get into it. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the universe, I bring to you a woman who I cannot believe is already a woman.
Oh, my God.
My niece, Cassandra Constance Glover.
Woohoo!
All right.
A fat, multisyllabic name.
Wait, explain what you just said.
Multisyllabic, a lot of syllables.
A fat.
A fat multisyllabic name, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like Stephen Gilchrist Glover.
Right.
Yeah, our family likes very fancy names.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people don't know that my full name is Stephen Gilchrist Glover.
Yeah. You have the same middle name as Dylan Gilchrist Glover.
Yep.
And your grandfather, my great-grandfather, Richard Gilchrist Glover.
Correct. And out of the gate, you've hit us with some heavy academia lingo.
Yeah.
On the Glover side of our family,
Yeah.
which is my dad's, your granddad's.
And my only side of the family, yeah.
Everybody is academic, scholars, PhDs.
Yeah.
Zoologists, theologians, clergymen.
I don't know if they were zoologists, but they were definitely like historians, clergymen, theologians, classicists.
I think Dad's dad was kind of a zoologist.
He was a Napoleonic historian.
Okay. Your grand aunt?
Great aunt, yeah, great aunt, yeah.
Great aunt is not only a senator in Canada.
She was, yeah, she aged out.
Okay, so, but how crazy that, like, my aunt is a Canadian senator.
No.
Was a Canadian senator.
When I tell people about my lineage, that Steve-O is my uncle, that my granddad was, like, a big business guy for Pepsi, Procter & Gamble, all this bullshit.
Nabisco, Campbell Soup.
Literally. That my cousin, mom's first cousin, is the fucking dean at the Courthold Institute of Art, which holds a lot of sway in the world of art history.
Alex Bovey?
Yeah, she's the dean at the Courthold, which is the #1 institute for art history in the world. And then her mom, my great aunt, was a Canadian senator appointed by Justin Trudeau himself, and that she does a lot of cool stuff with like First Nations artwork and stuff. We have such a decorated family, and all these bitches are still alive. Like, it's not
all
even
these bitches.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're not a bitch. A little. You're sometimes a bitch, but like
big time bitch all the time.
But no, but it's obviously the goal is to. Right now, I'm shooting to become a professor. I'd love to become a university professor. I want to do my own research. I want to be able to travel and do research. And I've been told throughout my entire life by teachers, by kids, my peers, whatever, that I'm going to be a teacher.
Okay, so earlier on, I said something about your granddad, or my side of the family. You said my only side of the family.
Yeah.
Which is probably confusing for a lot of people.
Yeah. Did Mom talk about it in her interview?
I don't think that we did.
No, she talked about fostering. I remember she talked about being a foster parent. But
now, I want to say, before we even get into this, I want to say that your mom / my sister is arguably, in my opinion, as close to an actual living saint
Yeah.
as like people really get.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, she is Mother Teresa. She played Mother Abbess in The Sound of Music.
She only cares about helping people and animals. She's got all these foster kids. She's
foster pets. Yeah, we foster kittens and stuff.
When your grandma / my mom
Yep.
had a terrible brain aneurysm, which left her just heinously disabled, both mentally and physically, my sister / your mom dove into the role of caregiver and just became this, this crazy caregiver.
At 28,
At 28. And it became evident as the years went on and your mom was primarily a caregiver.
Yeah.
She felt that if she were to meet Mr. Right, that she wouldn't be Mrs. Right to that person because she came with the baggage of the disabled mom.
I think that is right. I mean,
I know that that's how she described it.
Yeah. I think to me, she always said that she just didn't have time to even consider dating. You know, it's like she couldn't consider the dating market because she was still a journalist. So she was still working full time. And then she'd come home and take care of her mom, you know? And so she didn't have the capacity to date emotionally or physically, but she also just didn't have the time to go out and try to find someone. And so she always said to me that she couldn't really see herself as a wife. You know, if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. But she always saw herself as a mom. Like, she had to be a mom.
Yeah.
Which is when, you know, I started being thought about and planned a little bit, you know?
And I you know... I think this is super interesting. When we were talking yesterday, you said that you were preparing to do this podcast with me and that you were curious to say what were your first thoughts when you found out that you were going to be an uncle?
Yeah, because I don't know. I think, like, if I found out Eduardo, you know, my foster brother, who I consider my brother, like, if he sired a child and if I found out he was having a kid, you know, I'd kind of be freaking out a little bit. I'd be like, fuck, that is going to be a kid in my life and I'm going to have to be this cool aunt, you know?
Right.
I have this idea of what I'm going to be like as an aunt when my friends have kids. And it's just like, oh my God, now I'm going to have to suddenly like work on that. So I was curious to know, especially because, you know, 2002 was when I was born. And that was pretty, your career had started. Yeah. And obviously you were like in the Hollywood game. And so it's interesting to think about, you know, how you would start thinking about dividing your time between LA and Florida and like what your role would be as an uncle as you had just kind of created the role of Steve-O, you know?
Well, I had long since created the role of Steve-O. It's just that I was fairly new to having any kind of success in the role of Steve-O.
Right.
And yesterday when you asked me this question, what were my first thoughts about becoming an uncle? I started to answer, but then, you know, the foster kids started pouring into the house and the conversation got derailed.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty intense thing when I first found out that I was going to be an uncle because your mom / my sister said that
we can just call her Cindy, by the way, if that's easier, instead of saying like,
call her Cindy.
Yeah.
Cindy said that she had the intention of getting artificially inseminated to become a single parent on purpose.
Yeah, single mom by choice.
A single mom by choice. And like, I struggled with that. Yeah. And this was quite a while before you were born because I think that there was a lot of attempts. Yes,
there were. I think there was about like 10 or 11 tries before I finally like stuck, you know?
Right. And at first I had a problem with it because I thought, man, that means that I'm going to have a niece or a nephew who, I took the position that you were being deprived of having two parents.
Yeah.
And I felt that like, ooh, you know, that's not fair. I even took it so far as to say that hypothetically, you get in a situation where a woman gets knocked up.
Right.
And, you know, they're going to have the kid, but then all of a sudden the dad just is a jerk. He's a piece of crap. He takes off. He's gone.
Yeah.
You know, he abandons mom and daughter.
Yeah.
Right. in that scenario, mom and daughter have been like
Bonded a bit more.
well, they've been like equally and mutually abandoned. You know,
Oh,
it's like
okay.
it's like to that mom and that daughter, it's like that guy. You know,
Yeah.
not that it makes sense to be resentful or to
No, of
vilify anybody,
course.
but that it's something that you kind of bond.
Right.
You
It's
know?
not a choice that either of them made. It was just something that happened to both of
happened
them.
to them mutually. And in this case, I felt like, you know, like if you have a tough time,
Yeah.
you know, if you have a tough time and it's like, you know, you get upset at mom, like you don't have
Yeah.
the dad to turn to, you know, like you know, anything that happens, it's like I was very sensitive to that, and so
Yeah.
I geared up to become an uncle in a way that I wanted to really be your ally. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted to be your ally. I wanted to be super involved in
Aw,
you know
you were.
in your life.
Yeah.
And but with that said, the way that it's all played out, like I no longer
Yeah.
have concerns.
No, for sure.
And it's what's really impressive too, and I think it probably speaks to how like incredibly intelligent and accomplished you are, is that the process of sperm donors.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's by the time that you are actually a sperm donor, in the sense that your sperm is being used
Right.
to create children, you've basically like passed so many barriers. It's almost like the genetics Olympics.
No, it is,
Like,
yeah.
You are like any old asshole can go can go into the sperm bank and rub one out.
Yeah.
That they can get paid like maybe $50.
Yeah,
you
to
know,
see if it's
and-
viable or whatever.
Right. And all that they're gonna do with that dude's sperm is test out cryogenic freezing techniques. That sperm's going nowhere near like actually inseminating a woman.
Probably not, no.
Definitely not. In order, like by the time you actually pass all the hurdles
Yeah.
to becoming an actual sperm donor, like you've provided documentation for your entire family tree through like however
long you know.
and
Yeah.
every single person in your whole family tree has to be like a university graduate. Like
I don't know about that.
I think so. I think you have to have documentation of the academic history of your whole family tree. There can be absolutely no like history of cancer or any like
no,
weird.
it's mostly like the health lottery, you know? It's like
I
the
don't
health
know.
Olympics.
We might have to check with mom because
We might. Well, I mean, I think
maybe you
my
have a cho-
donor,
maybe you have a choice. Like that's what your mom, Cindy.
she wanted to choose someone that was
She
like
wanted-
educated
I think
and
that
stuff.
maybe that's what it
Yeah,
is.
because I think you just have to pass a lot of genetic testing to make sure that you're not going to pass on any really bad diseases or like any like the kid isn't going to be at like elevated risks of cancer, you know. They're worried about the genetic health.
Sure.
That you can pass on things. Like if one family's more prone to
I think that
stuff.
the academic history of the family tree was important to Cindy, and as
Yeah.
such, she was able to like narrow down her search.
Yeah, to the point where when she decided she wanted to have another kid, Dill, my guy was gone.
Right.
You know, there was nothing left of my guy. I mean, she decided this like 4.5 years after I was born, because it was like one shot with Dill. She didn't try multiple times. It worked first go. But she had to choose another guy that was like similar enough to her first like donor choice. Oh, and she ended up having 2 donors for me because the first guy dried up before I was born, before I was like cooked. So yeah, no, she got a decent look at like the folders, but
And what's so interesting too, you know that there's and on top of that, I think that everybody in the family tree has to have lived into like their 80s or 90s or some crazy.
my sperm donor's parents died in a car accident. Both of his parents were dead at the time that he donated.
That's not gonna like
Nah.
right.
That's different than like
right.
dying from a disease or something like that.
Right,
yeah.
right.
No, I think his grandparents were alive. He had 2 older brothers. He majored in comp sci. Like we have a thick ass folder about everything about him.
And you're able to know everything about him except anything
name,
that would actually identify him.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'm really chill with that. I wasn't always.
This is where I had a real issue with it too, because I said, that for adopted children, it's like, if not almost, it's like literally like a rite of passage. Like an adopted kid in almost every case is going to go and track down their biological parents as like a rite of passage.
They might try. I think every kid tries. I don't know if every kid fully goes through with it, nor do I think every person chooses to do it. I think it always, like, they always,
it's common.
It crosses their mind. It's something that they'll 100% of adopted kids think about.
Right.
100%.
It's common.
Yeah.
And in your case,
I legally can't.
You legally cannot.
But mom chose a sperm donor that would have no contact with me once I turned 18. Like, you can choose a sperm donor that is willing to have contact with the child after they turn 18. She chose one that specifically wouldn't.
Ooh, but then it just occurs to me that with the 23andMe stuff that you could totally...
If they ever do it, but I don't think, like, I think if they chose no contact...
You can narrow down the search, like...
I might have already.
Oh, yeah?
Well, just a little bit. I mean, I didn't end up finding anything conclusive, but I found, like, a third cousin that was, like, around my age, or a second... I think it was a second cousin on father's side. And I ended up asking about, like, her grandfathers and stuff to try to find, like,
amazing
the shared link and work it down from there. And I shared this stuff with my half siblings because there's 24 of us in an Instagram group chat.
Holy shit! My head's exploding. You know what else makes my head explode? That I've gone just about an entire year with just about no sugar, and that's the greatest thing. It's not even difficult because I've got my, like, next to no sugar snacks, and my favorite ones come from Magic Spoon. This is the company that makes cereal that is every bit as enjoyable as all of that sugar-filled awesome cereal you enjoyed when you were a kid, but without all the sugar. And now they don't just make cereal. Magic Spoon makes these treats, like a crispy treat. Yeah. Oh, man, they're so good with the chocolate and the peanut butter and the berry and the marshmallow flavored. And now they've got granola packs. Magic Spoon is killing the next to no sugar game, and I can't recommend it enough. Plus, if you want to get $5 off your order, you just go to magicspoon.com/Stevo, and you get $5 off. You can try all these great things. And if you want to find them on Amazon or at all kinds of stores, Magic Spoon is killing the game. So one more time, go to magicspoon.com/Stevo for $5 off your order. Find these things everywhere and get off the sugar, man. Get off the sugar. You will be way healthier, way happier. Now, let's get back to it.
I don't think you and I have talked about this much.
We've not.
No.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. No, when I was 18, I found 6 half-siblings from doing 23andMe.
An Instagram chat. And wait, how many are in this Instagram?
I think there's 24 now. There's 24 of us confirmed.
And you're all in a chat together?
Some of us have left over time, like stopped using Instagram or whatever. But at one point, there was all of us in it. And our group chat is called You Are the Father in all caps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, but I shared my findings with them and, stuff like that. And I think all of us are pretty uninterested in trying to find this guy. Some people have a recording of what his voice sounds like.
Wow.
Like, there's different stuff you can get, like different materials you can get about the donor, different packages, different levels of subscription, I guess. But
just like internet sleuthing going on here.
Oh, yeah. No, and it wouldn't be too hard, it wouldn't. But I think, we all come from families where we were deeply wanted. And I think that,
that's something, there's a lot to that.
There is, 100%.
Let's zero in on that because, I submit that if there was a way to determine how many people roaming the world were just purely accidental, I would guess that it's like more than half.
Oh, yeah, no, probably. I mean, accidental and like a happy accident, and for some of them, and accidentals and like, oh, this is happening,
right?
But yeah, no.
So it's like, hey, you know what? Like, most people are like, if they wanted to like be judgmental, like, oh, because I was worried that you'd get a hard time in school and stuff, It
was more of a confused time for kids. Like, I knew that I was created via sperm donor by the time I was 3. And people would ask me like, oh, like, where's your dad? And I was like, oh, I don't have one. And they'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Thinking that like a father had passed. And I'm like, no, I never had one. I don't have a dad. And they'd be like, huh? And I'd be like, so a woman has an egg and a guy has a sperm. And my mommy went to the doctor because she had the egg. And the doctor gave her the sperm to have me. It was a doctor procedure. And I got in trouble, like, talking about this at the playground when I was in, like, pre-K 3. Yeah. No, because, like, mom wasn't going to hide any of this from me. Mom was always going to be so which is not the same for some of my, like, I had to break the news to some of my half-siblings that we were related and I was conceived via sperm donor because they didn't fucking know. Because they had, like, a mom and a dad, but the dad wasn't their biological father because he either got a vasectomy or something like that. And so they didn't know they were conceived via sperm donor until a random bitch reaches out to them saying, hey, we're half siblings on 23andMe. Were you conceived via sperm donor? And then they're like, no, but I see we're related. That's cool. And then they talk about it with their family. Their family denies it. They come back home for Christmas and suddenly it's like, son, we have something to talk to you about. Like this happened at least once, like maybe twice.
Wow.
But so some people don't know. And mom was always going to be super transparent.
Right. And back to the point is that so many people are accidental. Like they're just like afterthoughts at best.
Yeah.
You know, and like say what you want, but like there's nothing accidental about you.
Mom used to say I was the most wanted kid in the world. Yeah. Like that she wanted me so fucking bad.
And 10 or 11 tries.
Yeah.
That's intense. So like how deliberate you are.
Yeah.
Like how like deliberate, wanted, loved, and I think that's really cool.
No, 100%. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why it's like, yeah, you know, I was upset when I was a kid about not being able to celebrate Father's Day. You know, I was upset that like my family wasn't represented in movies or stuff. You know, there was always a dad in a lot of movies or kids shows or whatever.
What about like 2.5 Men?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Well, okay.
Yeah, no, but I mean, and like, yeah, sometimes there's a single mom, but usually there was some type of lore about the father.
There was one when I was a kid called Silver Spoons, where like the kid was like adopted. I think of a single dad by choice adopted a kid, and it was like the most wealthy.
Oh, that's so kind of like Annie.
Yeah, kind of like Annie. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's like
no, there is for sure, but it's just it wasn't common, and you know. Going to a lot of friends' houses when I was little, like all my friends had dads, you know?
Right.
Eventually, a lot of my friends' families got divorces and whatever. But like, I was always just kind of like, why don't I have this? And I remember like crying and like being pissy at mom, like for a while.
I don't know when it was. It was during my vegan phase. It couldn't have been like. Yeah, okay. Now
you witnessed some of my, you know, emotional tantrums.
There was one that was really gnarly, and I say during my vegan phase couldn't have been that long ago, but come to think of it, it was like I think specifically the beginning of 2013. So
yeah, I think I was
almost 12 years ago.
I picture like exactly was it with Sophie and Papa when you came to the house?
They were there, and I remember what sparked it off was that I
skipped school.
No. You and Cindy went on a bicycle ride, and the bicycle ride, it was like, Cindy said, no, we're going to go to Target. And it ended up like, you know, so too far out that by the time you got back, it was just too far of a bicycle ride. It was too much exercise. And like, you just couldn't, and she made you ride so far.
We did 10 miles. It was a 10-mile bike ride.
Right. And by the time you got back, you were so upset with Cindy that like, you just kind of snapped. You got into the house, and I was with, you know, Papa and Sophie.
Yeah.
And you come storming into the house, and like you're crying, you're screaming. You go like
straight to my room, probably
slam the door.
Yeah.
And I come walking over to the door, and I'm like, "Hey, Cass," and you said, "I've been crying for my whole life." And, you know, and like, I never brought it up. I never said anything, but I've been crying for my whole life. And given the context of what the situation was, that's like, that was when I was like, ooh, this was what I was worried about. Because here you were upset with mom and you had no one else to turn to.
Honestly, like, I was a really depressed kid, you know? Like, depression runs in our family. We have mental health stuff. I was thinking of a different moment that you were privy to one of my like huge outbursts. And this was when you came to the house after I had skipped school because I had a stomach ache or whatever, you know, I skipped school and I wasn't feeling it. And so mom went to school. You were visiting. You were in town. I think you were at Papa's place, though. And then you end up surprising me coming to the house without me knowing. And I'm in the kitchen, like making some food for myself or whatever. And you come in with Papa and Sophie at the time. And you say like, oh, you're playing hooky. Like, you're fine. And then it just sets me off. And I think I started going into like retreat mode, saying like, no, I'm not. Like, my stomach really, really hurts. Like, what are you talking about? And then I think it was either like Papa or Sophie or something like that like added to it. And then it just elevated. It got to a point that was like really bad. And I stormed into my room and I slammed the door. But then this argument ended up being specifically targeted at Sophie. This was like one of the times where I ended up like screaming at her. And I remember
Sophie is, of course,
my ex-step-grandmother is what I call her as. Like,
yeah, my dad's second wife.
Yeah, ex-wife now and whatnot. But she was raised as my grandmother, you know,
Right.
which
Yeah,
is
she was
crazy.
a lot. She was a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about times that you had a tough time, but you know, like it wasn't always super comfortable.
No, but I don't think it had anything to do with the sperm donor.
Of course not.
I don't
of course
think,
not. That's my mom's side of the family.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like
it's grandma. Yeah, grandma's side of the family. Yeah,
there's the academia, the theologians, the clergymen,
it's
the
Papa.
PhDs. That's dad's side of the family, and then mom's side of the family is just dodge the draft. You know, like gamble,
Drink,
alcoholism,
suicide,
drug addiction, suicide.
Yeah.
It's gnarly.
Yeah. And it's like us as a combination is like the work hard, play hard mentality.
Yeah. I mean, I like it's deviants with a rocket ship attached to it.
Yeah. Deviants with like, we're going to do something. It's like ambition, a little bit of ambition, you know, drive. Sure. But it's also like self-sabotage with that drive.
I mean, like my dad said that for me,
mm-hmm.
and Cindy, the possibility of having an alcoholic child is like playing Russian roulette with a completely loaded gun.
If Papa would like place that into mom's head, no wonder she told me I'd be an alcoholic by the age I was 3.
Given the grandma side of the family, not a single leaf on the tree wasn't alcoholic.
So far, I've escaped that.
100% of the family tree, every leaf on the tree is not only alcoholic, but down to my generation, every single one of them is already officially dead, having died of causes directly related to alcoholism.
And both of her siblings died from alcoholism.
Cirrhosis of the liver.
Yeah, brain aneurysm, you know, like shit that is caused by drinking excessively, and like
it's so gnarly. That side of the family.
100%.
Whether even though you escaped the alcoholism,
for now, I always knock on wood, and I always say for now.
But the mental health is very dicey.
Oh my god, yeah. I was like diagnosed with clinical depression when I was 9.
I mean, that's a big part of why I got a vasectomy. Yeah. Because, like, I
don't want kids either. I don't know if I've told you that. Like, I'm not planning on having children.
I don't have the heart to create somebody to be so uncomfortable.
Same. Like, I don't want to give someone such a fucked up life, nor be responsible for that. Because, like, oh my God, I would get 10 times worse whatever I gave to mom, you know, like out of just, you know, like karma. Yeah, literally out of just karma. And I gave mom a lot of shit. And like,
sure.
Oh my God, no, I couldn't handle it.
I mean, she's a saint. She
is.
She really is absolutely a saint. And
we've had our problems. Like mom isn't perfect. She is a saint, but she's not perfect.
Of course she's not. She's completely fucked.
Yeah, we all are. Yeah.
I mean, take for example, the fact that you were 3 and knew all of this stuff that you could be sharing at the playground for pre-kindergarten.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing healthy about you knowing all that stuff at that age. And because your mom didn't have a significant other, like you were like thrust into this role of having like this sophisticated adult relationship with your mom.
Yeah.
That was like super unhealthy.
Oh, 100%. And it stayed that way for a while. Like, it wasn't until coming back from study abroad when I realized, fuck, I have never actually been truly independent. I've never been able to not think about what's going on at home, not think about what's going on in mom's life. Like, I have been consumed by this for way too long. And I've never actually been able to just live my own life. Because I've always been...
Now you're doing very well at that, I think.
100%. Yeah, no. And mom and I have a great relationship. But yeah, no, it wasn't until I was 21 that, like, we took an active effort in changing our relationship so it wouldn't be as codependent and that it wouldn't be as unhealthy.
And there's no such thing as, like, completely healthy people.
No, God, no. And I think that, regardless of your relationship with your parent when you're younger, you're always going to have to kind of figure out what's going to happen when you're an adult because... an adult parent-child relationship is very different than a minor child with an adult parent. You know, it's like, because there's a lot more direct care that happens with that and direct nurturing, whatever. And then when they're an adult, they should be self-sufficient. And so then suddenly you're not necessary to their life, but you're wanted. And, you know, what your role changes completely. And that's something that, you know, mom and I had to figure out because she is so good at that direct caregiving. And suddenly I didn't need her caregiving. I wanted her support, like her love and her emotional affection. But God, I would get so mad at her if she made me coffee in the morning. And like when she would like try to cook me food, I'd be like, Mom, I can fucking do it myself. Like,
right. But there's also another side to that where,
of course, yeah.
Because of what you're describing, Cindy, all of a sudden she's like, oh, well, I want to be a direct caregiver. So now I've got to like get foster children because this part of my life can't end. I gotta.
Yeah, I call it preemptive empty nest syndrome because it happened my senior year of high school was when she became a foster parent.
Right, and when she became a foster parent, like even though you didn't want her to be a direct caregiver to you, didn't you have a little bit of a kind of resentment of the foster kids coming in?
No, not the first round. Not the first round. I was very, chill with that. I gave up my room so that way Eduardo could have a room, and I shared a room with mom. For the second half of my senior year.
I didn't love that, and neither did my dad.
I was okay with it. Honestly, like, it was a choice that I didn't have to do it. Like, Eduardo literally slept in the attic for the first month that he was living with us. I mean, it was a decked out, cool as fuck attic. Like, that sounds bad that we, like, shoved a kid in the attic. But, like, it was cool. It had air conditioning. It was nice. It was bougie. But... it was more like a loft than anything else. But no, we made the choice once Eduardo was really going to stay with us that... I was willing to give him my room because it was like in January when he took my room and I moved in with mom in her room.
Right. Okay.
And so I only had 6 months, 5 months left of high school. And then I was going to college. And then eventually, COVID happened and Jada moved out because she didn't want to, do the social distancing, and mom was terrified about COVID. So then I got the room downstairs. So then I still ended up getting my own room. Right. I only shared with mom for 6 months.
You know what? I kind of dig sharing. In fact, I share all of my fitness analytics with hundreds of people on my Whoop app. And man, do I have analytics to share because my Whoop band is the most sophisticated fitness tracking device known to man. Period. I know everything about my sleep. I know everything about how many calories I'm burning. I keep track of all of my exercising, my yoga, my meditation. And yeah, I got my own community too on this app, and we all just push each other to be more fit, more healthy. The accountability probably helps as much as all of the information. And I want you to think about this. I want you to try this by going to join.whoop.com/Stevo. That's going to get you your first month free. Plus, you're going to have your hardware, the band and the charger that goes on top. It's waterproof. You never have to take this off. Plus, you get all that hardware for free and your first month for free. And if you don't like it, send it back. No problem. But I'm telling you, you're going to love it. So join my community, get fit. Do this by going to join.whoop.com/Stevo. And I'll see you on the app. And let's get fit. And let's get back to it. Let's go back to when you were first born.
Okay.
And I'm just power uncling.
Yeah, no, you were killing it. Yeah.
There, like I think that there's got to be a totally separate YouTube video because I filmed your childhood
Yeah.
so much. I documented
Yeah.
the crap out of like
I'm
every
super
age.
lucky. Yeah, because like I have so many home videos. Like there are an insane amount of videos of me growing up, and a lot of kids don't get that.
I'm going to tell you a crazy story right now.
Okay.
Because when you were born,
Yeah.
I had these concerns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, oh man, like I'm going to be your ally. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm like, you know, it's not fair. And I'm, you know, like at the time I had my first ever representation, which was like not super like high level
Yeah.
and sophisticated. It was like kind of like I had these characters managing my career.
Okay.
They came to me and they said, hey, dude, you got to get life insurance. And I was like, life insurance? You know, I didn't think I was going to live very long. Neither did they.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, you got to get life insurance. And I was like, I'm not. And they were really pushy about it. I said, look, I'll get life insurance. 2 conditions I have. Number 1, the sole beneficiary of this life insurance policy needs to be Cassandra Constance Glover.
You're kidding.
I swear to God, this is true.
That's crazy.
I said that I didn't know like psychologically like what the dynamic of your upbringing would be like, and I said like whatever happens, like if I die tragically young and soon, you know, like which everybody expected to happen. I said when my niece turns 18 years old, I want her to be able to buy a Ferrari. like I don't care. I want her to like, you know.
I drive a Prius, by the way.
Yeah, that was my one condition.
Yeah.
You had to be the sole beneficiary. The second condition,
That's crazy.
because I was like so promiscuous and this, you know,
Yeah.
like I was like terrified of
Having illegitimate offspring.
no, I was terrified of like medical testing. Like which is
like STDs and shit.
which is like the worst thing like to admit, like but it's just the truth. Me back then, you know, when I was in my 20s, I was like
I mean,
like,
you were a sex addict. Like it's yeah.
Sure. I said my second condition is because I knew that there would be like rigorous like medical screening.
Yeah.
You know, I said I don't want to know the results of the medical.
Okay.
Because hypothetically,
Yeah.
if I had like some terrible disease and like I was gonna die, like I didn't want to know that. That's a bummer. And if I was completely healthy,
Yeah.
then that meant that like I had something to lose and I couldn't go around risking my life. And so that would like, so there's no scenario where I wanted to know what my medical status was.
Yeah.
So I said like, I don't want to know the results of the medical, which means what I was saying was, I don't want to know if I am approved for the life insurance. So what I was saying effectively was, I don't want to know if the policy actually gets bonded. I don't want to know if it goes through. So these characters heard that and they were like, he doesn't even want to know if the policy happens. So
They never did it?
no, they did it. They made themselves the beneficiaries. Like
You're kidding.
Yeah, they did. And this was something that sent me off on
Were you able to like sue them for that?
No, I didn't do that. I handled it poorly. but they did keep you on there. And the reason that I found this out, I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
And so like a couple weeks through a few weeks after I went in for this medical exam.
Yeah.
Like I got a call on my cell phone and it said like, oh, this is the insurance company. We're calling for a follow-up.
Yeah.
You know, a follow-up interview. And I was like, following up what? Like, are you telling me that I got life insurance? And they said, yeah, you got, you know, and they're telling me what I did not want to know. They said, yeah, you got cleared, like you got insured. I was like, how much is the policy? They said, you got a $3 million life insurance policy, $3 million worth of coverage. And I said, and there's only one sole beneficiary, Cassandra Constance Glover. And they said, no, I see 3 beneficiaries. There's Cassandra Constance Glover and then...
Asshole number 1 and asshole number 2. Yeah.
I lost it.
Yeah.
I lost my mind. And I didn't say anything. I didn't speak a word of it to anybody. I just let it just that just fester and steam.
You didn't tell Papa? Like, you didn't tell him about
I
it?
don't think, not right away.
No.
Not right away.
That's crazy.
And I remember at that time too, I was like, oh man, so I just found out that I'm like totally healthy. And I've got like stuff to lose. Because you can't get $3 million of life insurance if you're not like in really good health.
I guess. I mean, I think, I guess you're right. Yeah. Like to a certain degree. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
and
think
I was like, wow, I got something to lose. Like, bummer.
your life, like
right.
But yeah, you probably thought about it a little bit more existentially and stuff. But
so in any case, that's where my head was at, and this was what
that's crazy.
This was in I think if not 2002, the year you were born, 2003, the following year.
And I was gonna interject at one point. And you did this screening after you had snorted cocaine that was covered in HIV positive blood.
No, that came later.
Oh, okay.
I snorted the and I didn't know it was HIV positive blood. I thought
you knew at the time when you did it.
I didn't know.
You found out later?
I knew that the guy was an intravenous drug user, and that's why there was blood all over the place. But
a kid in high school ran up to me in the hallway and told me that, by the way. That was how I found out about that.
Yeah.
I found out a lot of shit about you and about our family specifically through fucking interviews you did on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember, and this was mainly in high school, once, like, I had peers that were really, like, into you, because I had some clout in elementary school, with the kids who had, like, older brothers or whatever, and so, like, they knew who you were, and they watched your shit way too young. Like, I had some clout then, but, like, people really knew who you were once I got to high school. And so some girls would tell me like, oh my God, your uncle's so hot. And I'd be like, that is disgusting. And they're like, yeah, can I be your aunt? And I'm like, no. And then like some guys would come up to me and just like tell me these crazy shit, like basically like clickbait titles, from interviews that you did. And one of them was like, yo, did you know that your uncle snorted cocaine that was covered in HIV positive blood? Literally right after class, someone came up to me and said that. And I was like, no.
Covered with it might be a stretch. Tainted by it, yeah.
Yeah. But I ended up looking it up later, and I found this series that of interviews that you did with this guy, where one of them, where one of them was the cocaine, but there was that was when I found out that Grandma lied about having cancer for 2 years,
that was a tough
and
one.
that Papa had an affair with Sophie for a year before divorcing Grandma.
Before even separating.
Before even separating. Yeah. I found out both of those things from an interview you did on YouTube.
I'm like your mom. I'm very transparent.
Which is fair. Which is very real. And this is a very unique experience. I guess this is part of like the what's unique about having Steve as your uncle is that all of our shit is online. All of our family lore, all the,
I don't know
hidden bodies.
I don't know that it's certainly not well documented in any capacity that you are the result of artificial insemination.
No, it's not, for sure. But it was really crazy finding out about like stuff that came before me, stuff that I wasn't like aware of. Because like I found out that the woman my grandfather cheated on my grandma with was the woman that I'd been calling Boma, like grandmother, all my life. Like this was the bitch that was like in our lives for so long. Sorry, I keep saying bitch.
I don't know.
It was just, this was post-divorce because I was in high school at this point. I was about probably like 16 maybe when I saw these interviews because, like Lux was in them. So y'all had been dating at that point. So, like I was old enough that it didn't like fuck me up, finding this out. But I was literally just sitting in the living room watching these videos on my phone on YouTube, and Mom's just in the kitchen.
And it's worth noting too that you only are finding this out from other people because you yourself had zero interest in watching any YouTube videos about me.
No, not at all.
You were never interested in watching a Jackass movie.
Well, I wasn't allowed until I was 18.
Like when you were 18, did you watch? You probably didn't care.
My boyfriend at the time when I was like 18 or 19, I told him and his male roommates, like, oh, I've never seen a Jackass movie. I wasn't allowed to growing up. And they immediately put it on. They immediately put on, I think it was like Jackass, like 2 or 3 or something.
Two's the one to watch.
I think it was 2 then, yeah. I did a project on you in college, so I watched a whole documentary on you, which was pretty tough to watch, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And not that I didn't like not know anything. It's just, you know, like seeing all the footage of like
Sure.
you going through your hardest moments is hard as someone who loves you, obviously. It's easier to hear secondhand after you're clean. But yeah, no, I mean, I never really was interested in watching your content. It wasn't my thing. Like I always
you
say,
never wanted to read my book.
I didn't. I literally just scanned for it to see if my name was in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because you read.
I do read a lot, and I should read your book at one point.
I mean, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I have an edition. Like, I have it. And Mom told me some highlights about it or whatever. I mean, like, that's how I found out you went to Sex Addicts Anonymous or whatever, was through your book. Yeah, no, but I don't think I've ever properly read that. But I think it's also because I know so much about your life that it's like, I don't want to read a book I already know, you know?
I mean, hey, I'm not trying to push my stuff on you.
I always say to people, I would not know who you were if you weren't my uncle. Because I just consume such different content. I might. Because like especially now that you're like on YouTube and stuff like that.
Sorry for interrupting there.
No, you're good.
It's got nothing to do with whether I have a public profile that made me being like a super uncle like a factor.
Oh no.
Like, okay, when you were, I'm guessing like 2 or 3.
Yeah. Was this the diamond story?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, Mom tells me this, and I'm
I was like, I'm gonna buy Cassie like diamond earrings or something, or a diamond
it was like
necklace.
You wanted to get me like a diamond that you like I could like you hold in your hand, like a fat.
I mean, a diamond like that is going to be in the millions of dollars.
Yeah, but you wanted to get me like at least a $1 million diamond.
I didn't want to get you $1 million. I'm guaranteeing you.
Okay. And then the story has might been inflated over time, but like
I wanted to get you some kind of diamond jewelry.
Yeah.
And Cindy was like, she's a
2.
2-year-old. Yeah. Like she doesn't know what that's stupid. Like, stop. You know, like if you want to be like you know, extravagant, like get her a playground, you know, get her some. So I got you like
the treehouse.
Yeah, I got you like a dope ass
treehouse.
Like,
yeah.
Treehouse,
swing set, slide. Yeah. The whole works. And I used that way until like I was past the age. Like I used it until I was at least like 12 or something, you know.
And there were a lot of things that I did just to be annoying for your mom.
Oh yeah, like the little electric guitar,
I got you an electric guitar. Like I'm sure I got you like a drum set or something. Like I took like your mom was so anti like Barbie, anti makeup,
and then you took me to Toys R Us and bought me a shit ton of makeup and Barbies.
Every single makeup kit. Like
that I wanted. You were just like, hell yeah.
Not even everyone that you wanted, like everyone that there was.
Yeah. No, and this was when you were still on drugs too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember this. The super extravagant like Toys R Us thing. It happened when I was like 6, I want to say. Or 5 or 6. No, probably 5, because you got sober 8 days after my 6th birthday. So I was probably 5. But you had like you'd rented the red car because you always rented a red car whenever you'd come to visit.
A red car, huh? Wow.
Yeah, you would always rent like a little red car that was a little bit sporty.
I don't think I cared about the color, but I would.
Nah, but it was always like a sporty kind of car. And I got to sit in the front seat as a 5-year-old because Mom never let me sit in the front. And we like zoomed off to Toys R Us.
There was something.
You were stoned.
There was something or other that I would always say that I would say like, hey, Cass, guess what?
Yeah.
Like for this visit, I rented a race car.
Yes, yeah.
Candidly, those rental cars were very regular cars, but I did drive them faster, harder, and better. And if you want to perform faster, harder, and better, then Blue Chew tablets are the way to go, man. And I don't mind a little help in the bedroom, especially at my age. So how does it work? I take a Blue Chew tablet, and then 30 minutes later, I'm ready to party hardy. And you can try an entire month's supply of Blue Chew tablets completely for free. All you gotta pay is $5 for shipping. If you just go to bluechew.com and sort it out. I'm telling you, you can perform faster or longer and harder and better by taking Blue Chew tablets. If you've been thinking about trying, now's the time. You get a whole month's supply totally for free. You just pay $5 for shipping. Go to bluechew.com right now and make it happen. And now let's ride this baby home.
It was always something like that. And it would always get me. Like, I thought you were the coolest motherfucker alive.
Every time I told you I rented a race car this time, like this, and then I would be like, check it out.
Yes, you drove so fast. It was so fun. I loved riding in the front seat with you. And we went to Toys R Us, and I remember it felt so scandalous, because like...
Oh, yeah, man, I would like just try to buy you like dumb stuff.
And
like,
Mom didn't buy me... Mom gave me... I still had an allowance at this point in time. Like, I'd get like $4 a week or something as a 5-year-old, And Mom said, you get you get gifts, you get things on your birthday and Christmas and, Easter, whatever. But anything else you buy for yourself. You're going to save up your own money, and you're going to buy it for yourself. I'll buy you the things you need, but any toys, you save up your money.
Yeah.
And so you just coming to visit and then just like getting me all the shit I wanted, I was like, damn, now I can save my allowance, Like,
yeah,
it was awesome. I mean, you tried not to spoil me too much. Like, you definitely were extravagant, but not to the point that it was like too excessive.
Well, I would like come in, like one thing, even when I was on drugs, even when it was like, I was at my worst, I was always still like a family guy.
You were
like,
100%. Yeah.
I would always come and visit no matter
you
what
did
shape
a lot
I was
of
in.
visiting when I was younger. Like, I remember you at every Christmas when I was growing up, every
Christmas.
Thanksgiving, like, or not, maybe not every Thanksgiving, but most Thanksgivings.
I would never
all the surprise birthday visits.
Yeah.
Like, you came at least like 3 or 4 times a year in my like, most important years growing up when I was little.
Yeah, like our family's always been pretty solid
because we're really
way.
small. Yeah, so I think we were pretty tight knit. And even now, like today's Christmas Day when we're filming this.
Yeah, how about
that?
So
yeah, and this is the second. I think it's like the second content Christmas that we've done. If you remember the makeup video.
Okay.
Because we did that on Christmas too for my little one. Because I used to be a YouTuber myself. My own claim to fame.
How many views does that?
I think it has
video?
29,000 right now.
There you go.
And you wanted the funniest thing. Rachel, like my best friend that you've met a few times.
She came to the ranch.
Yeah, you've met her a few times. Yeah, and she's coming up in 2 days. But she saw that makeup video way before we ever met on YouTube. She was one of the 29,000 people in the world that saw that video. And then completely forgot about it. We met in college in a class that we were taking, and our professor would confuse us because we looked similar.
How old were you when we made that?
We were in the Vista Bella house. So I want to say I was probably 12 or 13. I think it might have been the Christmas when I was 12. Because I think it was like 2014.
Yeah.
2014 Christmas.
I remember it being right around the time that we went to go see the circus. We went to go see Amaluna, and it was right before I went to film that Winter Sports show.
So it might have been 2015. I think I might have been like 13.
Yeah, maybe January 2015.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, then it would have been the 2014 Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, because I was in my beauty guru era still. When I was 11, 12, it was like beauty guru. And then when I was 13, 14, it was booktube. And I recorded YouTube videos about books and reading and whatever. And then by the time...
How many books have you read?
Oh God, like thousands, easy. I mean, I have a Goodreads that has like a couple hundred books in my read pile. I've read a lot more academic papers, like right now. Like currently, I read a lot more academic papers than I do books because I do a lot of reading for school, but it's not all books. Like I read a few books for school, but it's mostly like academic articles from like scholarly journals and whatnot. But yeah, no, I've read a lot because Mom made me a huge reader. So I'd say it's at least 1,000 books that I've read.
At least,
yeah. I mean, you've probably read at least 1,000 books by now at 50.
I don't know.
No?
I doubt no.
No, because I think Papa definitely.
Cover to cover, like...
To the point where you could say you read it. Like where it was at least 50%,
Still, man. I don't know if I'm good for 100.
Really? I doubt that.
I've gone on some reading benders.
Yeah.
But like they weren't that crazy.
I guess, yeah.
I guess when I was a kid, maybe I've read 100.
I think you've read 100 because 100's not that many.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't read that many books per year now, but I used to. I used to read a good amount, like probably at least a book a week when I was in middle school.
Right.
But yeah, no. And then in high school, I was a vlogger. I did my little vlogs in high school.
Yep.
And now I do that, but just kind of like on the side for like my friends and stuff. I consider them little like scrapbook videos. So like when I stayed at the ranch and I went to the Childish Gambino concert with Rach in Nashville, I made a little video for that.
Oh, cool. So you're still active on YouTube.
I am. I'm just less, I think I definitely was a little bit of a clout chaser. Like when you were on my YouTube channel, it was big for me. When I hit 5K views, I was like, yes, this is it. I'm going to blow up. But I never posted regularly. I never actually had that, drive and consistency. Yeah, which you need to become a YouTuber. So I think now it's more so about memories than anything else. Because I do love the fact that I can see little Cassie when she was like 11 or 12 doing makeup. Like I think it's cute. And I wish I had my first YouTube era, which was when I did the scripted mermaid show with Ryan when I was in like second grade.
Have that?
I was bullied so badly for it. I deleted it off the face of the earth. I tried to contact YouTube once I got to high school to see if I could.
You're never going to be able to do that, but
I did. I can't find it. No, it was all on an iPad. It was on a school iPad that we edited and filmed the entire thing.
Man, and private stuff, don't delete it.
I know, but I was like, because what happened was I'd missed school one day and I had told my friends about it at school. I was super excited. Like we made this like mermaid show. And I loved mermaids. I loved having my like little swimmable tail and stuff. I was really proud because we worked so fucking hard on it. And so I was like proud of it. And I came into school and I told everybody about it. And I think I missed school the next day or whatever. And apparently like the choir teacher was bugged by all these kids to just put it on. And so my little mermaid show, which was like probably like a 10-minute episode or whatever, was showed to my entire class. And then I was like, maybe bullied is the wrong word, but I was heavily teased for it for a while. And I just deleted it. I was like, no, I can't.
I think that heavily teased, there's two components to that. There's like what happened and there's how you perceived it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So like hypersensitivity is a problem I think that we share.
Oh, definitely.
And maybe like I could believe that the teasing wasn't actually as gnarly as you perceived it to be, but because you were so sensitive.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I will say the fact that the fact that an adult showed my YouTube video to the class is pretty fucked. But aside, that's like the worst thing that ever really happened to me in school. I mean, I'd be like called chubby all the time and stuff like that, but it was just like little snide remarks from kids. But yeah, no, it felt like the end of the world as a kid because we're also fucked up mentally. So it's like not even just I'm a kid and the world is so small, so everything feels really intense. It's also add on clinical depression and anxiety and shit, and then suddenly it's like life ending. It's like world altering. It's like, oh my god, how am I gonna get through this? Like my life sucks. Yeah.
Newsflash, I'm 50 and I still have that.
I'm pretty good right now. I'm pretty solid. I don't catastrophize too much. I haven't had like a mental health episode since May of 2021.
Good.
That was the last time I had like a proper breakdown, like blocking everyone to spend an hour in the woods type shit.
Yeah, my mental health has not been that great for a stretch. And I'm kind of like then my resolution for 2025 is to give less fucks.
Hell yeah.
Just worry about being a good guy.
Yeah. No, and I definitely care way too much about what people think about me. I'm definitely a people pleaser. I think a lot of people in our family are. Yeah. But no, for sure. I think that all of our mental healths are still fucky. It's something we always have to work on. I always call it mental health maintenance. Because there isn't a cure for our shit. It's just like constant vigilance. Yep. And I call mom out on her shit all the time about, trying to work on her mental health and stuff. Because you can't save everybody else without helping yourself first. It's like the whole oxygen mask thing on a plane. Yep. And so she just thinks that like she'll be fine as long as everybody else that she takes care of is good. I'm like, no, you might need to go to therapy and like, make sure you're talking with your psychiatrist and stuff to make sure that you're in the best shape that you can be So then that way you can take the best care of other people, because she doesn't give a shit about herself. She only cares about like her kids and the animals and stuff, because, you know, saint.
She is a saint. It's crazy.
But even saints need to go to therapy, and even saints, you know, need to make sure they're doing what they can. And like, you've always been so good at like meditate, at least like physically taking care of yourself. I've been much more better at mentally taking care of myself than like physically.
I'm in and out of it, but meditation I've been super solid
for a while, for years.
I'm 2 days away from
2000.
5 straight years.
5 straight years. Wow.
I've maintained an average of 40 minutes of meditating.
Yeah, the 220
every
sessions.
single day.
Because this is Vedic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, because Sky got the lessons for me, so I have my mantra. Like, I know how to do it. That was my 17th birthday gift. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Sky got lessons for me. We went to a guy's like house in Boca who's been trained by Sky's going to India in January.
Amazing.
Yeah. No, but
so you and Skylar.
Yeah, Skylar's like gone more deeper in it than I have. I only did the beginner.
So I got you guys both.
So she had already done the lessons.
That was part of her. For it?
I don't know if you paid for Sky's.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Because you have to pay.
No, I know. I kind of like snuck a glance. She paid like $600 for me to get meditation lessons when I was 17.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Because I don't remember this, so evidently I did.
Well, because I had a really rocky mental health. Like during what year would it be? 2019. Yeah, I was 17 and I turned 17 in 2019. Yeah, so the year 2019 was pretty rough for me. It was like end of 2018, beginning of 2019 that I had really, really bad mental health. And so to kind of help me out, Sky like bought me the best birthday gift I've ever received, which was the meditation lessons.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I don't do it enough, but I always have like the skill, you know? Like it's not something I have to relearn, you know?
Skylar counts as a
sister, yeah.
She's
an older sister to me, yeah.
Basically the first foster kid.
I'd say Ryan was probably the first foster kid, but like he just never officially lived with us. I guess Sky would be the first because she actually lived with us, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what's life like now? You're in graduate school.
Yeah, I'm in grad school.
Studying
art history.
Art history.
Yeah, and grad school's hard.
How much of art history is just balls deep in religion?
A lot of early stuff, you know, because I think art history started to have prayer material, like art being made was commissioned for churches. Because you have to remember a lot of people weren't literate in like 1200, 1100, 1300, whatever, you know, the medieval ages. And so people, wealthier people would commission artworks of scenes from the Bible or whatever, and then they'd have them as these altarpieces in churches so that way people could see and feel this religious connection to the stories that they couldn't read themselves. So, you know, the foundation of art was very religious. I mean, it's different. I guess it counts for like Greco-Roman statues. A lot of them were based on like the Greek gods and whatever.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember like my because I took a Chinese art, like I've taken like Asian art classes, you know, because like there's a lot of so art started off being functional, so it always had a purpose. Now a lot of European art's like functionality was religiously based. I think in a lot of like, you know, African art that I've studied, it is kind of worship related, but a lot of it has like functional tools. Like there's this like medicine icon that I remember studying, and stuff that's used for like festivals, like a lot of like mobile art, like art that's made to be worn and like moved and stuff.
Does your great aunt Pat?
Yeah.
My aunt Pat.
Yeah.
She still runs like a huge art museum.
No, she is touring with her own because she had a book come out pretty recently, Western Canadian Art by Patricia Bovey. So she's been lecturing around Canada,
so
traveling.
She's the senator, the art museum.
Like she ran a museum.
Author.
Author. She just travels and lectures and stuff and like talks about her work.
Are you in close contact with her?
Every once in a while, yeah. She and I chat. I wouldn't say we're in close contact, but we definitely keep in touch a lot more than we did previously. She's in London right now for for the cousin's Christmas.
Got it.
Yeah, she's with Bill in London. I hear about her like from Uncle Steve, from Papa. He keeps me updated about like Aunt Pat and Uncle Bill and stuff. Yeah.
Amazing. What is your romantic life like these days?
I'm currently single. I officially became single from like a situationship in May.
A situationship.
Dude, dating as in like this era is fucked. Oh god, I'm gonna send this to one of my exes too, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, no, I consider myself to have like 4 exes. I still have never dated a woman. It's on my list.
Still haven't. Okay.
And yeah, because women scare me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared to date a woman. Men are easy. Men are like toddlers.
You're inclined to date a woman.
Yeah, I am technically bisexual. So, any and all viewers, if you're 21 to 27,
any and all, that's a pretty wide net.
I mean, yeah, I take any gender, but yeah, I've only dated men. I have a string of comp sci guys. That has been my history, apparently.
Computer science.
Yep. Yeah, I have 2 exes that have been computer science.
I
majors.
meant like you had one situationship with the long hair guy.
Yeah, Austin. Yeah, he and I are still friends. He's the ex that I was
he was like a heavy metal dude.
No, he just pirate.
Okay, he's a pirate.
Yeah, he's the one that introduced me to sea shanties, where I go to a bar once a month and we dress up like a pirate and we sing sea shanties and drink cider out of tankards.
Okay.
But it also happens on Wine Wednesday, so I just, sip on wine. I don't really drink out of the big tankards, but yeah, I know a lot of sea shanties. But yeah, so I've had a complicated dating life. I'm being single right now because I realized after my first big, 2-year-long relationship that happened over COVID, I ended up healing and grieving for 4 months, getting back to like a spot where I was mentally healthy. And then it was situationship and hot girl European summer when I did study abroad. And then I was collecting flags a little bit.
What's collecting flags mean?
Fucking people of different nationalities.
Oh, wow. I think that trip, that summer abroad, inspired Cindy.
No. She tells me because she knew everything I was doing. She sent me with condoms to Europe. She
said, effectively, my daughter has a bigger body count than I do.
Yeah. No, 100%. My mom has seen my sex list.
Oh, wow. So you've got a confirmed kill list.
I do. Yeah, I do. And it has a chart at the bottom because I'm my mother's daughter. It has a chart organized by the zodiac signs.
Oh, wow.
And then the number that they correlate to on the list. And then there's a second column that says got head, ?
Oh,
a little bit of like social research to see if there's some zodiac signs that are more inclined to give head to women than others.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is a lot more information than you probably needed to know about my sex life.
I don't mind a bit. Like as long as you're comfortable with it.
Oh no, 100%. I think it's really funny though, in terms of discussing like, do you remember when I first came out to you as bi? We were at dinner.
God, I don't.
Oh my God, dude. Don't worry. Like, it's not a bad story. Mom fucked up more than you in this story. But it was when I was still dating my first ex. And he was supposed to come visit and see you. He had like 3 chances to meet you and he never did. But we were at dinner. We were at Darbster, which is this great vegan restaurant. And I think we were just talking about stuff. And I just ended up saying like, oh, I'm bi, right? And you were like, huh? You're a muff muncher? You're a carpet eater? Like, that was your exact response. And I was like shocked, but I shouldn't have been too shocked because like you say shit you're very
silly.
Funny. You are very silly. Like, I know you had no ill intent, but also I'm like 18 or 19.
You've got your liquor license.
Yeah, like you said shit like that, and I was like, dude, I'm dating the first person I've ever dated. Like, I've only have one body under my belt. Like, you think I've eaten pussy at this point? Like, no. But it was really funny because my response to that was I threw it right back at you, and I was like, damn, I hope you do. Otherwise, I feel bad. Like, for your girls, like.
Sure.
Not girls, plural. You were dating one girl at the time.
I'm not going to have any judgment over whatever
no, exactly.
your situation
Mom's
is.
response to that, though, was, oh, honey, we know by now.
Oh, yeah.
And that was what put the knife, like the nail in the coffin. Because she was insinuating that because I'd been in like a 1.5 year long straight relationship, that I was straight. And that really hurt because she had been privy to, you know, me being in love with one of my friends back in high school and not realizing it until the friendship was over. Just like how deeply the feelings were, that were not just platonic, you know. But it's hard to realize, I think, what's platonic, what's romantic. Because I also gaslit myself for a while into not believing I was bisexual, because I went to an arts high school. Like, it was the popular thing to be bisexual. So I was like, oh, no, I'm just trying to be cool. I'm not actually bi. And so I it took me a while to realize that I was actually, that I had feelings towards like some women. I have a much broader male type and a much more specific female type. But yeah.
Does this manifest in like different categories on Pornhub and stuff?
I mean, I like the amateur shit, if that answers any questions. I don't really watch that much gay porn. Because I like both people, both genders.
You gotta bleep that actual word on YouTube.
Really? Oh.
I don't know.
I watch both genders because I'm interested in both. So the straight shit works for me.
I always said that girl on girl.
Yeah, that's very straight.
Well, no.
To watch.
No, I've never had any time for it. Like girl on girl.
You never watched Girl on Girl? You never had time to consume any content that showed Girl on Girl?
I never bothered with it. And I think this came from Chris Pontius, this hilarious saying that Girl on Girl content.
Yeah.
It's like a skateboarding video with nothing but ramps and nobody riding them.
That's funny. I've never been with a woman sexually, and that's one of the things I'm scared of, is like, what do I do? I need to watch more gay content.
Wow, you would think that like whatever you imagine you would want done to yourself, it seems like that would be easy.
But I'm so much more aware of like giving than receiving. I mean, like, I've experienced receiving, but I don't know. Like, mentally, it's so hard to picture, because it's like, I respect women so much more than I do men.
Oh, nice.
I know, yeah. So it's like,
is that a thing about feminism?
No, God, that's a. I think the people that I date, you know, I think I see men as easy. Men are pretty easy, you know. Like, if I tell a guy that I want to fuck them, they'll be like, oh hell yeah, you know, like that, pretty easy. With women, it's like, I'm not gonna go up to a woman and say, hey, I want to fuck you. Because, like, I respect them a little bit more. I want to be a little bit more, like, demure with women. I don't know.
I don't know if that's a respect thing. I think it's just more of a reality thing.
It may, yeah. I think because it comes off so much more as, like, aggressive and, like, potentially assaulty or, like, harassment type territory. Yeah. I don't know. Where it's like, I'm not worried that I'm not worried that, like, me kissing a random guy at a bar is going to be considered sexual harassment. Whereas if I did that with a woman, like, that might make her feel uncomfortable and stuff. And I think it's just like it's a completely different types of socialization that like men and women have in terms of like, you know, the dating pool. It's like for a guy, if a girl kisses you, it's like, hell yeah, you know, whereas like if like unprompted, whereas for women, if somebody kisses you unprompted, that can be terrifying, you know? And I think you want to be careful about overly general statements. No, of course. It is. I don't want to be too, because I obviously, like, you can't kiss anybody in public without asking their permission. I am huge for asking consent. Consent is sexy. If you want to kiss somebody, ask if you can kiss them. That is hot. That does not cut tension. It builds it. But yeah, no, I have a lot of like overthinking and anxiety about dating women, which is why I'm holding out to be in the Netherlands, because I want to date tall, hot Dutch women.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. You said that you're planning on taking a year off from school.
Right now, yeah. I think once I finish my master's, I'm going to move back home, save money for rent, try to work at a museum, and then eventually, shoot for that PhD abroad.
Is there a museum around here?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. It's great. It's free. It has a great collection, too.
Like right around here, there's the big famous architect guy.
Yeah, Frank Lloyd Wright. Yeah. But that's for Florida. Oh my God. How much are we going to expose where Mom lives?
Oh, I mean, I don't think mom cares.
True. I mean, so yeah, Florida Southern is in Lakeland. Well, I just meant, well, because they can look up where Florida Southern is, and that's where the buildings for Frank Lloyd Wright are. The museum's not connected to the college.
We'll ask mom. I think that would be the like pretty far down mom's list of concerns for this episode.
Dude, she knows all of this. I don't think that like.
I think that she's fine with it,
and I'm not that worried about future employers, like. Because
I don't think you have any.
No.
I don't think there's anything even remotely.
I'm pretty chill. Like, because I'm going to send this to my friends.
There's nothing scandalous about anything that you've contributed to.
Especially if I'm going to be working in like feminist spaces and, stuff like that. But yeah, no, I would love to work here. I mean, I wouldn't want to live here forever in Central Florida, but like, I think that there's definitely a job opportunity for me here. I'd love to explore it, get a little bit more, work experience on my resume before adding another degree. Because I think that there's a good balance between practical work experience and education. And I think you can definitely overdo one or the other.
You want to have balance.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's good to kind of break that up a little bit, take some time to, heal from burnout in academia, and then finally make the big move across the ocean, move to Europe, and finally pursue that. I finally go to grad school.
Can we pat you on the back? I know that my dad will be big on this. That your graduate school situation is like not only like full ride, but they're like paying you to be a graduate student.
I'm a faculty member at my university. Yeah, at the University of Florida. I'm UF faculty.
Unfucking believable.
Yeah.
That's so badass.
Yeah.
You're right. We've got a crazy epic family.
We do. It's really crazy. And I mean, so that you guys set the bar high. I'm just trying to reach it,
Well, I find you incredibly impressive, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
In every sense. Is there anything that we've not touched on?
We didn't touch a lot about like the practical stuff, which I guess is what we're going to talk about in your YouTube video.
What's the practical stuff?
Well, like, I was taller than Wee Man when I was 6, like the...
Okay, I mean, that's a piece of information that I don't think needs to go into the...
That's fair.
I mean, whatever, I'm not, like, sensitive about it,
but like, yeah, like, I met all the guys that, like...
Oh, right,
like,
okay.
the like, Steve-O shit,
Right, okay.
Yeah, but, like, that, that Chris Pontius, would you guys would hang out in my backyard, that he put on a little, like, tutu skirt that I had... for like the Camp Steve-O video, like movie. Do you remember that?
I don't think Chris Pontius was there for that.
Yeah, he was. I think it was him.
I don't think so.
Are you sure? Wearing the bunny ears and like the little like flower bra and the skirt.
That wouldn't have been for Camp Steve-O.
Oh well, it was in the backyard. It might have been Jackass.
All right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think like I have a lot of weird, fun experiences.
I mean, I don't think that really is that big of a deal because you never gave a shit about the Jackass.
No, I didn't.
I mean, you were there on the red carpet for the Jackass #2 premiere.
Yeah.
When I pulled out my wiener and peed.
Yeah, and Papa was furious.
Yeah, Papa was very upset about that.
I don't remember that runway experience.
The minute to win it was a big one.
Yeah, the minute to win it was huge because I remember you were training at our house, and so it was like a big buildup.
Right.
And then I ran onto
that should make it into but that's all the stuff that should go in the main channel.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I figure like our kind of conversation doesn't need to hit those points. I will say one fun story is that when Mom and I and Eduardo and stuff, when we were at the Jackass Forever premiere that you had flown us out to LA for, but got COVID and so couldn't actually be there for, where we were sitting, it was I was 4 seats to the right of Eric Andre.
Nice.
He was in our row.
And you talked to him about going to the same school?
Mom did. Because I whispered to her and I was like, oh, that's Eric Andre. Like, I went to the same high school as him.
Yeah, he's so cool.
And so then she turns around and like says, oh, hi, you went to the same high school as my daughter. So she just starts talking to him. And he had
just been so friendly and
He
awesome.
was. No, he was amazing. He was so cool. And I wanted to kind of like get a picture with him. But
did you not?
No, I didn't. I got a picture with Tyler, the Creator, and
there you go.
Machine Gun Kelly at
cool.
Jackass Forever.
Oh, There's another one when I introduced you to Demi Lovato.
Yes.
At the age that was like
6.
really important for you.
Yeah. No, it was huge for me. And then I got to see her again when you got me and Papa free tickets to her concert with Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
And so then I had a printout picture of me and her when I was 6.
Yeah.
I was wearing like an American Girl lookalike dress too. I was a baby, but she signed it. So I have her signature on that too. Yeah, I've had a lot of cool like famous people experiences, and like Shane Dawson FaceTiming me during my first week of high school when I was on the train back home. That was crazy.
You're right. You're filling in some gaps that we needed to discuss.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, feel free to edit this out, but like, because I don't know, I don't want to put other people's business out there, but I think one of my favorite stories that I'll like tell some of my friends and stuff is like at the Jackass Forever premiere when I smoked a blunt with Preston Lacey and Dave England. After the movie, and I was 20, but I was getting served alcohol, and it was awesome. But at that same party, I found a female producer who had worked on the movie, and she and I talked about girlhood and like gender theory, and I got her number. I have her phone number.
Shauna?
I think so. I'd have to like check my phone because I have her like in my contacts. I never reached out, but
she's like, I call her our Jackass mom.
Aw, that's well. She was like, she seemed pretty young. Like she seemed at least like maybe in her 30s or something. So she's not like. In your 30s or 40s. I don't know. But yeah, she recommended me a book, and like we talked about gender theory, and then I smoked a blunt with Dave England and Preston Lacey. And yeah.
You know what? I don't think there's anything terribly controversial about that.
Cool. Because I don't know how public they're. I don't know. People. I don't want to like put people's shit out there. I'm very open talking
Preston
about
was on TMZ for marijuana.
Really?
And it was one of his proudest moments.
Oh my God.
I believe.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've had a lot of fun experiences, which is why I consider myself a baby, a tiny bit of a Nepo baby.
Okay. Yeah, what other fun experiences?
Well, I mean, I've been to LA so many times because of you. But we were talking about Minute to Win It. I ran onto the stage where you were doing the Minute to Win It, and I hugged you. Because like Mom and I were so stressed. Was
that part of the show?
Yeah, it got into I got a name card. That's one of my proudest moments.
Cool.
I've shown that to like everyone I've dated. Like I've shown that to some of my friends. Like
I'm such a douche because I asked that question because I'm like, oh, sweet. So there's footage that I can.
Yeah, no, but it's
exploit.
Okay. I have it saved in I have a folder on my YouTube account saying my claim to fame.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because like remember when you did the promo for Fantastic Four with David Dobrik?
Sure.
In LA, and that was when I was you flew me out alone to visit you. Yeah, we were in his 4th ever vlog.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, so I'm in the background with my orange hair after the failed dye, trying to go blonde. And yeah, I'm just in the background, like on the stairs while y'all are like laughing, but I'm in it. I'm in the video, and I've shown that to some of my friends. You know, like, oh, I'm in one of David Dobrik's first vlogs, and like.
I seem to recall that trip. That was the one when I made you hike all the way up to the highway, the Hollywood sign.
Yeah. That one was crazy because...
And I took you surfing.
Yeah. And I got a bunch of free makeup and stuff, and like, it was a fun experience.
And in Los Angeles, whenever they're filming like a TV show or a movie, like some big production... Like generally, like when there's celebrities involved, or if it's like a show, something that wouldn't be known. What they do is they give that production like a weird title,
code name or something.
Code name.
Yeah,
and then like they have these yellow signs with the code name on it to like kind of direct. Like the crew and the cast to be able to get to the location. It's like you'll see a yellow sign with a weird
and
name.
So we ended up sneaking on to a bunch of different
stuff.
Right.
So when you were visiting, I was like, we're driving around. I see one of these yellow signs. I'm like, hey, Cass, check it out. What that sign means is that they're filming something really cool, and they gave it a weird name. It's like, let's go check out what it is. And so we would like go.
Yeah.
And there was like some movie that had the Harry Potter kid, Daniel
Radcliffe, and that was a really cool indie movie. I ended up finding it later, where he ends up like dying at sea or something like that, and somebody finds his corpse.
We were hanging out, and they had
bodies, the dummy bodies, And then the other one we went to, I think, was a set for Bones, like an episode of Bones. Yeah. No, it was super huge. Like I remember feeling like so cool, and we got the indie film for Daniel Radcliffe was very cool about us being there. Like, they showed us like the set. They were really awesome and chill. When we got on the Bones set, they were like, "You got to get the fuck out of here. Like, who are you? Like, what are you doing?"
I was like, "Yo, dude, you know, trying to give my niece an experience over here."
And he was like, "Yeah, not on this set, yeah." But it was a fun time. And then you had been surfing for a while at that point, so you got me a surf lesson in Malibu.
Yep.
And that was pretty fun. You also took a video of you like pissing into the ocean while I was like riding a surfboard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that one was fun.
I'm a peer.
You are. You do like to whip your dick out during family events. You're because it's funny because a lot of people have that like one crazy uncle. You know, like everybody has a crazy uncle, like a weird uncle. My crazy uncle just happens to be Steve-O.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, no, that visit was fun. I think. Like, you and I were super close when I was really little.
Yeah.
And then once I hit the awkward puberty, mental health, oh my God, what is happening in my life? You know, like, I think you didn't really know how to handle that or like how to handle me because I was also hypersensitive and like you're very jokey. Yeah. You need people to have a backbone so that way they can understand your humor.
I don't know that I need people to have a backbone.
But just not take things too seriously, you know?
It's not that I need anything. It's that
you're not going to walk on eggshells around people.
It's not even that, I don't think. It's that, like, I would inadvertently hurt your feelings when, like, I wasn't trying to.
No, of course not. And I think I had a harder time because I think, like, there was just so much happening in my life that was triggering. And I think you would accidentally.
I think you withdrew to an extent, and I think I got scared of interacting to an extent.
100%. And I think that meant that we had a little bit of a sensitive.
Apart.
Yeah, I think it was just like, but like you'd still try, like flying me out when I was like 14 by myself in the midst of trying to figure out what our relationship is. That still did a lot, and then by the time I was 18, we started, like, you started treating me like an adult, and I was a lot more healthy in terms of, you know, not being triggered by everything and realizing, you know, that, like, you still care a lot about me and that you're not trying to hurt my feelings and, you know.
For sure.
And I think that did a lot. I mean, I also think that, like, there were other people that helped our relationship improve. But I think as adults, like, you're really good with kids and you're really good with adults. I think that weird in between phase is a little complicated.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're really great now. Like, we're super chill now. And I remember crying every time you would leave when I was a kid because I missed you. And
that makes me feel good.
I had this revelation.
That's a fucked up thing to say.
No, I mean, you were well loved and like you. Like, I felt how much you tried. And, like, you really were my little, like, ally, my buddy. Like, we were besties. And
I love, too, that nowadays, like, we'll call each other.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and,
hey,
like,
what's
I'll
up?
watch your content. Like, whenever you're excited about a video and you'll send it to the family group chat or whatever.
Oh, you know what I didn't say this whole time?
What?
Is that this is my first effort at recording a podcast without any help from my crew.
Yeah. I'm proud of you.
And the one mistake I made is I didn't format the card on the audio recorder. So when I just looked down and saw, oh, it's not recording anymore. Thank God we had a lot recorded.
A lot. We talk a lot, yeah.
But it cut off at the point when you were saying that you cried when I left. And I said, like, what?
You were like, oh, like, that makes me
happy. And
happy
then I
to
said
know
how fucked up it is that it's like me saying about my dog Moon Pie that my favorite thing about her is her separation anxiety.
Well, but it just means that, like, you know how much you're loved. Yeah, exactly. And I think we all, to an extent, want to feel loved and appreciated and valued and stuff. And then I had mentioned that I had this revelation, and I remember thinking about this so clearly because of your visits. I came to this conclusion that it's easier to leave than to be the one that's left. So it's easier when we're visiting you in LA and to be the one leaving than it was for you to visit in Florida. And then for you to leave, because like you would come into my world for a few days or a week or so or whatever, however long you come to visit, and then you would leave, and suddenly my world was blander. It was like more, it was like less colorful, and so it always was more sad. So I don't know, like I just remember thinking that, like, that it's easier to be the one leaving than to be the one that is left.
Yeah.
Which is deep thoughts for like an 8-year-old, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's pretty deep. But no, you were a huge part of my life, and we have all these amazing videos and like content and stories that, you know, we're gonna talk about on your main channel and stuff. But I think you're a phenomenal uncle, and you definitely are much better than the average uncle, and it has nothing to do with you being Steve-O.
Well, thanks. I love that, and I think we have a great relationship now.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm tremendously proud of you.
As am I. I'm very proud of you as well.
You had one other story you wanted to tell about when you said you wanted to get a tattoo.
Yes, yeah.
And I gave you a very anti-Steve-O lecture about that.
Yeah, I think you talk to me as if like, oh, like, don't do the same mistakes I did, you know? Which is very sweet. And it's like,
I always try to talk people out of their first tattoo.
yeah.
Like, as a tattooer,
Really?
I will not give someone their first tattoo.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends with tattoos, and like a lot of friends that like we get more. Like, I got 2 this year, but I only have 3 total. But yeah, no, I was 16. I think we were watching Toy Story 4 in LA with Dill and Mom, and we were in line to get like concessions.
I remember this.
Yeah, and I told you that I wanted to get like flowers or something. Like, I wanted to get a tattoo when I was 18. I didn't know what it was going to be yet, but I really wanted to get a tattoo. And you told me, don't do it. You're going to regret it. Do not get a tattoo when you're 18. Wait just a little bit longer if you want to get a tattoo. And I was like, meh, like, you're one to talk, you know?
Right.
But I ended up getting a tattoo when I was 18. To be fair, I was like 18 and a half. I wasn't like purely
And
18.
what was epic about it is that you got it with your mom.
Yeah, with my mom and Skylar, my sister.
Cindy and you and Skylar
Yeah.
got a tattoo. And then I joined the boat and we
You did.
all got the same tattoo.
Yeah, we all have the same tattoo now. And it's something that I came up, like, it was something that happened during one of my biggest mental health crises when I was 16. And I was like, Mom was taking me on a nature walk, like a forced nature walk, because I was like in my deep depression moments, you know. And I was telling Mom how I really wanted to get a tattoo. And she was like, God, just make it something positive. Like, make it a good tattoo, you know? And I told her, huh, that's funny, something positive. Because I was trying to think of like some type of phrase or whatever. But anything that's well known is not going to age well, you know, like live, laugh, love and all that shit. Like, it just ages so poorly, you know? And so I think that I had come up with just something positive because it's funny.
Well, yeah, and like...
it's positive.
The meaning is that no matter what terrible situation you're in, no matter what, like, there's something positive to glean from it.
100%. There's always a learning lesson, and there's always growth that can happen from bad moments.
When we're catastrophizing,
yeah,
like, you got to find something positive in the circumstance.
100%. And so this was right around Mom's 50th birthday when there was some family drama with Papa. And Mom was like, let's get the tattoo. Because Mom was never going to get a tattoo. She always said that you had enough for the both of you. Yeah. But finally she said, let's do it. Yep. And so then we got a tattoo, and it's in my handwriting. My handwriting is on all of y'all. Yep. And it just says something positive. Yep. And you and I are the only ones that have it just like written across.
In one line.
Skylar has it like on each of her wrists. Stacked. And then Mom has it stacked. Yeah. On her right arm. And you have it on your right arm. I have it on my left. So we all have it a little bit different and unique, but I love it, and I still love it, even though I'm 22 and I got it when I was 18. Yeah. So I mean, I had been thinking about it for at least a year and a half before I got it. So I will say, if you're gonna get a tattoo, think about it for a little bit and make sure the idea.
Just get something positive.
Yeah, just get something positive. Join our family tattoo. Might as well, you know. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think, you know, have intention. Don't just go get a random tattoo.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Cass. Well, I love you. I'm proud of you, and thank you for doing this.
Yeah. And I'm excited to keep chatting with you, and I'm happy you're here.
Here's a weird thought that I have. Yeah. Like, are you active on Instagram these days?
I am, but I'm gonna stay private. I'm gonna stay private because
I was like, do we like? I was thinking in the back of my head while we were talking, like, ooh, do we put Cassie's Instagram on? I feel like if people want to track you down, they gotta like.
They have my old YouTube channel when I was in middle school.
The barrier for entry has to.
It is, and I think I learned this.
You don't just give them your contact.
Yeah, and I learned this when I was like 12, and I forced you to tag me in a post. because I wanted to get the clout for school, you know?
Yeah.
To be like, guys, look how many followers I have. And I got it, but it was a bunch of middle-aged men sending like unsolicited dick pics to me as a minor.
Oh my God, is that what happened?
It is.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I hate that.
It was a learning lesson. I mean, it was maybe like 1 or 2 unsolicited dick pics before I like blocked everybody and deleted Instagram in totality. But
that's so harsh.
I mean, I think it happens to to a lot of women, regardless of like the situation. But yeah, no, there was a few creepy people, but it was all just like people I didn't know. And so it felt weird at the end of the day. And so then, yeah, I just learned, you know what? I barely use Instagram anyways. I'm just going to keep it to my friends. I think you still don't follow me. No, because I have deleted it and re-downloaded it a few times. Yeah. So I think you're just like,
not by choice. I don't think I've been able to keep up with which account is.
I'm gonna force you to follow me after this, though. You're gonna have to see little like I think I do a post around every 2 months with just like a drop of what I've been up to.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'm not even that active. So yeah, I'm sorry, guys. You can't follow.
Please know that I'm not following you by. Like deliberately. I am
a little bit older now than when I was 12. I know that this is not a deliberate act of haha against Cassie.
Yeah.
No, dude, you're chill. We're good. And that's why I'm gonna, if I care, I'm gonna do something about it. And I want you to see what I get up to as a grad student. Yeah. I want you to see the fun things of my life. And if I end up dating anybody, you'll get to see it.
There you go.
On socials.
All right. I'm gonna say this, please. Don't be mean in the comments. Okay? I know my sister and my niece are gonna be in the comments. At least don't be mean to my niece. I know there's no telling people not to be mean to me. I really want you to know that this journey in the new RV, like maybe that's what I bought this RV for, more than anything. It's just to be out in nature and working on my mental health. Yeah. With that, this is the first podcast of the new year. Thank you to those of you who stuck around. And do give my niece some love, man. I love my niece. I want to protect her, and this is scary putting her out there like this. But I love you too, and I wish you the best in the new year. Thank you.